Indian economic updates. Indian Railway is continuously progressing and becoming a witness to its own achievements and new heights of development. From the magnificent bridges in the south to the world's highest rail arch bridge, the Chenab Bridge, in the north, from the bullet train project in the west to several railway infrastructure projects in the northeastern states, from the dedicated freight corridor to modern trains like the Vande Bharat, Amrit Bharat, and Namo Bharat Rapid Rail, the Indian Railways has witnessed an unprecedented transformation over the last 11 years. This reflects the vision of Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat, One India, Great India. A significant part of this modern railway transformation includes our railway stations. 2 years ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the world's largest station redevelopment program, the Amrit Bharat Station Scheme. The objective was to transform the inconvenience and mismanagement at more than 1,300 railway stations across the country into modern and world-class passenger facilities. Today, this journey of development and transformation has reached a major milestone as the Prime Minister inaugurates 103 redeveloped railway stations across 18 states including Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Assam, and Bihar. These stations stand as symbols of both heritage and development. Local architecture and cultural heritage have been preserved while ensuring every modern convenience required to enhance the passenger experience. There are separate entry and exit points. For security, CCTV cameras and a dedicated security control center have been installed. There are model food courts, roof plazas, waiting rooms, lifts, escalators, and Wi-Fi facilities. To ensure ease for our Divyang, specially abled passengers, wheelchair-accessible ramps have been constructed and braille signage has been installed for guidance. Additionally, solar panels, rainwater harvesting systems, and energy-efficient lighting make these stations environmentally friendly. These stations are designed as multimodal transport hubs. Along with the stations, broad access roads, adequate parking spaces, and wide footover bridges have been constructed. These modernized stations will provide passengers with a comfortable and high-quality travel experience while also emerging as centers of economic activity, enabling Indian Railways to continue marching forward as an integral partner in building a developed India. India's Ministry of Defence has rolled out a 15-year technology perspective and capability roadmap, committing massive investments across land, sea, air, space, cyber, and electronic warfare to boost multi-domain combat readiness and deterrence. The plan, reinforced at the RAN Samvad 2025 seminar where Defence Minister Rajnath Singh released the Joint Doctrine for Multi-Domain Operations, emphasizes integrated warfare, jointness, preparedness, and self-reliance under the Make in India drive. Anchored firmly in self-reliance, this roadmap outlines acquisition and development plans for over 200 sophisticated systems, including nuclear propulsion for warships, next-generation battle tanks, stealth unmanned aerial vehicle, hypersonic missiles, laser and electromagnetic weapons, and advanced drone and anti-drone systems, serving as a foundational guide for domestic industry and research and development institutions. The Navy's transformational trajectory includes deploying 10 nuclear propulsion systems for new aircraft carriers and surface combatants, potentially extending India's carrier fleet, and equipping them with electromagnetic aircraft launch systems and warship classes including destroyers, corvettes and autonomous underwater vehicles. Meanwhile, the Army is set to retire legacy platforms in favor of 1,800 future-ready combat vehicles and 400 high-altitude light tanks, integrated seamlessly into networked formations with unmanned aerial vehicles, loitering munitions, robotic counter-IED systems, and advanced precision munitions, emphasizing hybrid warfare readiness. In the skies and beyond, the Air Force will extend its intelligence, surveillance, target acquisition, reconnaissance and strike envelope through platforms such as stratospheric airships, high-altitude pseudo-satellites, stealth unmanned aerial vehicle, and directed energy systems like tactical high-energy lasers, underlining India's push into futuristic aerial and space-based warfare. A formidable offensive edge comes with plans for over 500 hypersonic missiles powered by scramjets, complemented by detection systems for incoming threats, drawing on breakthroughs like the indigenous Extended Trajectory Long Duration Hypersonic Cruise Missile, which boasts Mach 8 speeds, 1,500 km range, and radar-evading flight paths. Beyond hardware, the roadmap reinforces vital cross-domain resilience, with investments in AI-enabled cyber tools, quantum communications, satellite servicing and refueling, modular sensors, multiple global navigation satellite systems, and electronic denial zones, cementing an integrated battle network across space, cyber, and cognitive fronts. In essence, India's 15-year defense vision signifies a profound leap, combining advanced strategic deterrence capabilities, cutting-edge technological innovation, and deep industrial ecosystem alignment to evolve into a technologically dominant, self-reliant, multi-domain military power ready to meet the demands of future warfare. Energy systems across the world are undergoing a major transformation, and in this transition, India has emerged as a leading power under the able leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. India has made remarkable progress in the field of clean and sustainable energy and has established itself as a source of inspiration in the areas of global energy security and climate action. In 5 states, projects worth over 1 lakh rupees 22,000 crore are being inaugurated and dedicated to the nation. Along with this, 3 new railway trains are being flagged off and launched. In line with the goal of achieving 100 gigawatts of nuclear energy capacity by 2047, the foundation stone of the Ashwini Mahi nuclear power project in Banswara, Rajasthan, is being laid today. This project, costing approximately 42,000 crore rupees, is being developed under Ashwini, a joint venture between the Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited under the Department of Atomic Energy and the National Power Corporation under the Ministry of Power. The 2,800 megawatt plant will be based on an indigenous pressurized heavy water reactor technology. In this series, various projects of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy are also being inaugurated, including RSTCL's 925 megawatt Noak Solar Park, Eden Renewables 300 megawatts solar project in Sikar, Acme's 300 megawatts solar project in Sri Dungargarh, Badlu, Avada's 200 megawatts solar project in Jaisalmer, JSW Energy's 400 megawatts solar project, and Sunfree Energy's 200 megawatts solar project in Jalore. Additionally, the foundation stones are being laid for Avada's 590 megawatts green energy project in Bikaner and SECE's 300 megawatt Ramgiri Solar Park in Andhra Pradesh. These energy projects will strengthen India's energy security and accelerate the nation's energy transition towards achieving net zero emissions. To transmit energy from Rajasthan to every corner of the country, 3 major power grid projects worth over 13,000 crore rupees are also being inaugurated. These projects will transmit about 15.5 gigawatts of green energy from Rajasthan to states such as Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, and Punjab. To empower farmers, projects worth over 16,000 crore rupees under the Pradhan Mantri Kusum Yojana are being inaugurated, under which agricultural feeders have been converted to solar energy. Honorable Prime Minister is also flagging off Vande Bharat trains from Bikaner to Delhi Cant and Jodhpur to Delhi Cant, along with the Udaipur City Chandigarh Express. With a commitment to sustainable development, these steps taken by this double-engine government will secure India's energy and transportation needs and give new strength to the vision of a self-reliant and developed India. To ensure food security for the country's growing population, the central government strengthened India's farmers and the agricultural system, provided them with modern facilities, and connected them with new technologies. Until 2014, India was heavily dependent on large-scale imports to meet its domestic fertilizer demand. After that, under the new investment policies of the Modi government, several important steps were taken. With the objective of making the nation self-reliant in fertilizers, a decision was made to revive fertilizer plants that had been shut down for years, with an investment of 45,000 crore rupees. The Prime Minister laid the foundation stone of the Sindri unit of Hindustan Urvarak and Rasayan Limited. Built on 700 acres of land, this fertilizer plant has the capacity to produce 12.7 lakh metric tons of indigenous urea annually. When operating at full capacity, it will produce 3,350 metric tons of neem-coated urea and 2,200 metric tons of liquid ammonia per day. Not only Jharkhand, but this fertilizer plant will also meet the urea demand of nearby states such as West Bengal, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Bihar. With the reopening of this plant, thousands of youths and local people will get direct and indirect employment opportunities. The Sindri plant of Hindustan Urvarak and Rasayan Limited is being dedicated to the nation